Hi, this is Adam Riley, and today I'm going to show you how to build a functioning or about page. So I'm going to show you on my website. So the thing about an about page is that it's often statistically the most viewed page on a website in general, because people generally go to the about page to find out to find out what a website is all about. So it should have several characteristics that allow it to perform as well as it does. So it should be informative in not a lot of text. It should be easily accessible. It should also have a point. It should be poignant for the user. So this is my about page for the this is the ombudsman page for the Fighting Black Lions, and it has some imagery. It has a very short, concise summation about what the role of an ombudsman does and what this page is for, and then directly below it links to a form that my commands families can fill out in order to receive and have access to the weekly newsletter that goes out. And all of this is right there. And I've also created this as the home page for my website because it's the first thing that I want my users to see. So when I say home page, if I go to a different page and click the home button, it brings me right to the about page because that is what I'm setting as the main focal point. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to show you in 11 steps or more what or how you can build this website or this page through Squarespace. So we're gonna go in. Let's see here. I'm gonna go into the administrative tools. And I did have this all set up, but technology was not working for me. So I'm gonna get rid of all this, and we're gonna start from scratch. Okay, so when you create a page, this is what it's going to look like. So there we go. Alright, so first thing we want to do, we have our little outline here, is we want to go into the tools here, and let's say we want to start by inserting our text. So this is going to tell us what the ombudsman page is all about. And there it is. Okay. So then we want to add an image. So we're going to add a block. We're going to do an image, just like that. We're going to add images. Go in. We want to add this image, and we're going to apply. Always make sure you apply. But this isn't really where I want my image. So one of the great things about Squarespace is that you can just drag and drop. So I want this at the top of my page, and there it is. And there's also some cool features that it has some text editing software. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we're going to add our second image. Which is right there. Very cool. So that's at the bottom. Let me just check how the outline's going here. Excellent. Okay, so now the bulk of our assignment here is we want that form to fill out so that the families can register for our newsletter, which is powered through MailChimp. So we're going to add a block. We're going to go down here. We're going to add a form. And I didn't put it where I wanted it, but we can change that later. So it's important to name your form. Do newsletter. So we're going to do name, and these are presets. So we're going to do name, and it breaks down into first name, last name, and I don't really. And we're going to do email address. Let me check to see. So we're going to do name, email address, sailor's name, because we want to know how they're affiliated. Well, we want to know their sailor's name and how they're affiliated to the sailor. So we can change the subject here. We're going to do sailor's name. Now, you wouldn't know this off the bat, but you would be right now. This is set to do a text box, but so we could edit it so we could make it a name box. But what I found is that when you have two name boxes, it gets a little wonky when it loads it into the Excel document, when it stores it into the Excel document, which I'll show you later. So just if you're going to have two namespaces, it's better to make your primary the name box, which like it is here, and then the secondary a text box, just because it's less of a headache. And I'll show you what I mean. And then what do we have? So then we're going to add a few more things. So this one, we don't really need a message, so we can delete that. And I want relation to sailor. So we're going to add another text box. We'll do relation to sailor. We're going to do, and I want this to be required. The default setting when you add a new box is that it's an optional thing. So whoever is filling out this document can submit the form without having put that in, but I don't want that, so I want it required, and then that puts a little asterisk there to make it required. And then I want their contact phone number. So I'm going to be preferred contact number, and it already has the correct formatting already preloaded, which is fantastic. And I also want this required. And then I'm going to ask if it's okay if I contact them by phone. So then, let's see, so I want to be a survey, which is right here. A checkbox, rather. So, is it okay for the ombudsman to contact you by phone? Option 1 is going to be yes. Option 2 will be no. And so that seems, so like when would I contact them? So I'm going to do, let's see how I did it. Yeah. So just to hammer that point home, I want to add a little description below. That puts in what the user needs to look out for if and when or depending on what they check, if they want to receive the newsletter or not. So, and I also want this to be required, and that that. So I'm going to apply that. Oh, but we forgot to set up the storage. That's okay. So I want to move this here. So one downside to Squarespace is that there's not a lot of options in terms of what I can do with formatting. I have 3 options here. So, and then it gets ugly really fast. So you just gotta kind of play around with it to see what works. Ooh, gosh. To see what works best for you. And I mean, you just get something that you can be somewhat happy with. Ideally, I'd want, oh gosh, it's just. So there are obvious downsides to Squarespace, but for the most part, see, I can't even center that. For the most part, it's really good. I forget how I did it in the original here. Okay, so I did it all. Looks like I used heading 1. Yes. And then I made this smaller. Nope. Oh god. Well, that's okay. Point is, you're gonna have to play with it. You know, that's fine. Okay. So that's that. So I'm missing one thing that I want to add, and that is a disclaimer box. So I'm going to again add another text box. It went away. I'm going to add a text box. There it is. And I'm going to put in my disclaimer. And then I want to move this. Oh gosh. I'm going to move this below my form. And that's that. But one thing I forgot to do was set up a storage component for my form. And you need this in order for your form to matter, in order for you to access the data. So you're going to go, so what here, let's go back. So what I did was I hovered over the form, I hit edit. So these are all the things that we put in earlier. I'm going to go up here to storage, and it's already set up, but let's pretend like, well, that's, so that's, it's logged in, or it's preset to send the results to my email, but I don't really want that. So what I want it to be stored in my Google Drive, and this is the wrong, that's the wrong one. So I'm gonna add an account. There it is. I'm going to grant it access. It already has the name. So now what it will do is anytime a user inputs all their information, submits their information into this form, it's going to load into a Google Drive that has the name newsletter, or has yeah. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to switch accounts again. That's odd. This is odd. signyoutogov.google.com. Maybe I'll just, okay, I might use switch. Okay, so currently I have it set up for a contact log here, and you can see that all of the information is saved accordingly. And I can't open it because it's private information, but so it'll all go in, and what's cool is that all the information will be organized based on the headings that we've given our forms, and it all happens automatically. And then every so often you'll get updates from Squarespace through your email that's attached to your account that tells you whether or not someone signed up or submitted information into the form. And that's it. So then all you do is hit save, and you are good to go. Oh, let's make sure we apply that. You hit save, and you are good to go. So I hope this helps you as you create your most important page to your website. Thanks for watching.